so cold. It's freezing. You can come in. Thank you for waiting. So nice.
You just make her ask for it.
Hello.
Oh, you brought your blanket again. Wow.
Oh, in
You didn't
here.
bring anything for us. Wow. How dare you?
You're so generous.
Freezing.
Oh,
I'm wearing a jacket.
I had to go out to buy a giant heavy jacket whenever it's not even warm.
It's not cold out, which is why I'm so sad that it's so cold in
cold
here.
in here.
It might be warmer if I open the window.
Warm. No.
It's cold.
You really open the
It's like-
window here?
It might be warmer because it's so nice out. I was like, oh, it's nice out today. My room's not really cold. I showed up and it's an ice box.
It's probably freezing chicken.
You probably could. I'm gonna freeze. Which is why I'm glad I have money.
You're blind gift. Are we still going on that deal?
No. First of all, that was never a deal that you made with me.
Oh,
That was a deal with Mr. Pomosa.
And it was when we come back.
yeah, it's gonna be in your classroom.
I thought the deal was you were gonna see if Mrs. West was okay with it first.
Mr. Formosa, it didn't even ask, tell her.
Well, then maybe you should.
Looks like you're out of luck on your deal.
Can I go in her room right now?
Oh, she does not want you in her room right now.
That's weird.
I'll tell you that right now.
We're gonna play Dojo.
Wow.
Sometime I won, a long time. Like,
No one asked. Literally no one.
I don't want to go
I don't think anyone cares.
You're
Do you
playing it?
guys, do you, either of you ever stop bickering?
No.
Ever?
We always do it.
Well, we'll stop
Are
doing
you?
that when it's
Are
very
you
cold.
over there?
I like it over here.
You say you see it there.
We'll see how it goes.
I'm pretty sure.
I hate you.
This is RJ.
Aw, thanks.
You already lost. Go back on the other room. Go back on the other side of the room.
He said thanks though.
Go on the other side of the room.
I'm pretty sure RJ's fine.
I just did that on purpose.
Well, look where it got you.
Oh, besides, I can see better over here. I can't see.
It's the same distance.
No, it's not.
We could
Yes,
I'm
it
pretty sure we could calculate it.
Technically, it's not.
Yeah, but yes, calculation.
Yes, it is.
Technically, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's, look, 1 seat away from you versus 1 seat away from Elena. It's the same. You and Elena are the same distance from the front. Get it?
I think it's fine.
Oh my.
Okay, we have very short, easy notes. We investigated area yesterday. We're gonna go through just the area formula. There's nothing on your iPad. I'm gonna just pass out to you. We're gonna go through the front, and then the back of it is some practice that would be your homework. And then when we come back for 9th period, we'll finish whatever we don't get done, which I don't think, well, I think we'll be able to do it all. But 9th period, we'll play Kahoot. So those of you that are at home, when you sign in, I'll give you the option, you can play Kahoot with us. Of course, I think it's gonna be. You don't have an option.
Do you do?
They're at home. What am I gonna do?
I thought we already played the food.
You think there's only one Kahoot in the history of Kahoot? So that's our plan, and then
And this time, we're doing every single Kahoot. Every single one.
and then you
No.
guys are leaving, and we're not gonna see each other for a while. But you have to make sure. Some of you are doing really, really good, and some of us are making large improvements. We have to make sure we're staying with it when we go home into the space where maybe usually we don't
You
do
go
too
in
much.
space?
Like me?
Maybe,
Can be sometimes.
but we want to keep on our good streak, right?
No. Maybe.
I just want the deal. Once the deal's over, I'm just going back.
Don't make me call you.
Not do crap.
Imagine if Mr. Promotion never follows through on the deal and we did all that hard work. That one's backfired so hard.
If that would ever happen. It would not.
RJ's parents are getting a full life right now.
You guys are on the deal.
It's coming to school.
How do you find entertainment out of tapping your screen on stuff?
When I find entertainment.
Okay, those of you at home, you just have your notes. You can follow along with us. Pretty straightforward once we go through the formula.
You don't have to do it, but we have to. Miss Glennis, do you forget I'm here?
They don't.
I'm doing the same thing.
If you forget I'm here, I'm gonna give you.
I might have. But you guys at home following along with us. The front page is the notes, the back page is the homework.
Why does that sound so good?
That is not satisfying.
Yes, Data, I am, thank you.
Although just
I appreciate you.
right?
I'm recording my screen, so not technically the Google Meet, which is why it might say that it's recording.
You started it first though.
Yeah, totally. Okay, yesterday during ninth period, we did that counting the shape problem, and you guys were like on another level.
Because it was.
Remember?
Madness.
It was madness. But the last question was this. Remember we had this circle with the square? Or did picture iPad down?
It is down.
The last question asked you how many squares cover the circle. How many squares did you think covered the circle?
4.
4, right? Because if we did this, whoa,
Half man.
it looks like there's 4. And then the problem also said that your side lengths here were 4. So that meant the radius was 4 because it told you that was the same.
It was 46.
So then this and this was 4.
46.
And then it asked you to find the area. What's the area of that big square? It's not 46. What is it? It's not 46. It's not 46.
I know it's 64.
Why was it 64?
Because 8 times 8 is 64.
Right.
I was close. You just
Yeah.
put the numbers around.
So if we add all of these,
Technically,
then my whole side length here, you are, is 8 and 8.
technically,
8 times 8 is 64. Do you remember what an exponent is?
please don't go there. I hate that.
Right, now I know. It's like number that you use like.
I know what it is.
I would say it was like 8 to 7. It's gonna be like.
8 to the second power means 8 times 8.
Oh, I know.
What did you say?
So the area of the square. Area of the square, you square the side lengths. 8 times 8.
Alright.
So that's not quite the area of the circle, right? Because there's a little bit of overlap. But that same kind of idea comes into play where we're taking a square, putting it over a circle to generate the area of a circle. Our formula for area of a circle is A equals, you know what that symbol is? Pi times the radius squared. It's different than circumference, right? Yesterday we saw that it was not proportional because all of the numbers we found were different. The line when we graphed it was curved, so it's not proportional, but we can see this idea of taking the square and squaring it kind of gets us that full circle, but that's our formula that we need to know. Pi 3.14 times the radius squared. So in example 1, what do I know about the circle? The radius is 5. So if we're finding the area, step 1, you want to find what radius squared is. So radius squared is 5 squared. What's 5 squared? Right. So we want to make sure that when we're doing exponents, we're not saying 5 times 2. 5 squared is 5 times 5. What? So that's the first step. Once you do radius squared, all it's left to do is multiply it by pi to find the area of the circle. So area equals 25 times pi. Whoa, 1/4. Type that in right there. Chris.
Who came up with pi? Who just put a bunch of random letters on a piece of paper and said pi?
So no one did that, but pi comes from if you measure the distance around a circle and you divide it by the diameter, no matter what circle you have, you're always going to get that number. So it's not just someone just wrote a bunch of numbers down. Someone found out that no matter what circle you take, if you take that circle and divide it by the diameter, you're always gonna get that.
3.1422, I don't know that.
It goes on forever.
Wait, let me ask Siri how long the pie is.
No. Maybe at the end, but I'm not doing this right now.
It goes on forever now.
Hold on, Sydney, because I just heard this thing.
Imagine if you just took a whole class period just to name all the numbers in the class. That'd be actually
No, are you okay?
That's how you just.
I don't know how to, it says,
Time, just-
no, raise his hand, how do I see it? Raise his hand. Is that new?
Yes.
You guys always able to do that?
No,
It's a new update.
when you press that,
I don't know how to do anything with it. Oh, what's happening? Wait, what's that?
When that happens, you get like a little thing up there.
Yeah.
You get a little thing on the bottom that says someone raised their
I know,
hand
but-
and it has their name on it.
Are you just doing it to do it, you just have it out, or does somebody have, what's happening? And look, I can't click on it because it keeps going too far. Oh, are you okay? Or is that no? No, are you okay? I can't hear anything.
I'm very good.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
31.4.
Thank you, Parker. 31.4. No, 25 times 3.14 is not 31.4. Sydney? 78.5 centimeters squared. Your unit is always centimeters squared. No, if for some reason my audio is not working, so if you have something going on, type it into the chat. I saw you on mic, but I can't for some reason. It's not working.
I don't think this is gonna let you.
I don't know what's happening. All my volume's up.
I don't know if someone's shaking last.
He's gonna come in. That's all we need to know though, it's just a new formula, it's very similar. The only difference is that we need the radius and not the diameter, and we're squaring it. The second part is just telling us, what if we have a half circle? Okay, semicircle means a half circle. So our area of a semicircle, what do you think we would do with our final area? If it's a half circle, what would we do with our final answer? Divided by 2. So it's the same thing as finding the whole area. It's the same thing as when we did the circumference. If it was half a circle, you cut it in half. So you take 1/2 times the area. But it's the same thing. Find the area by taking the radius and squaring it, multiply it by pi.
I can't see.
It's 3.14. No, 3.14. I think that's what you're talking about.
No, I can't see.
I'm not trying to look Noah, Parker. He's asking me a question. I'm trying to figure out what number he's looking at. Okay, so if it says semicircle, find the area and divide it by 2. So if we look at the next problem, RJ, put your iPad down. The semicircle has a diameter of 9.4. When we're doing area, we do not need the diameter, we need the radius. So if my diameter is 9.4, how do I find the radius? Chris?
Divided by 2.
Cut it in half, so what's the radius? Half of 9.4.
Except for 4.7.
4.7. So we found the radius, now we have to square it. 4.7 squared. Which again, make sure you're not doing 4.7 times 2. 4.7 squared is 4.7 times 4.7. So what do you get when you square 4.7? Sydney? 22.9. Square your radius. All that's left to do to find the final area, 22.09. Multiply it by pi. Okay.
$69.39.
Millimeters squared. Okay. Try to do 1, 2.
69.3, not 6. Okay.
Try to do one. Fine. 2 and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Do 1, 2, and 3. Find the radius. We need the radius for everything. That's step 1. Radius, radius squared, area. Radius, radius squared, area. Radius. It's not. It's quite possible.
Do we divide it?
Divide what?
No, times, right?
It depends on what.
So like if it's like half, like that, we divide? Or we times?
When we're doing area, we need the half, because the half is the radius. So for number 1, you need that number. It's different than the circumference stuff. You're looking for the half line. And then you have to square it, and then you have to multiply it by pi. Multiply that by pi. That's all. When did they come out with the raising the hand thing?
Like, a couple days ago, I think.
I wanna know if that'll go on. I said, I wouldn't know if that'll go on. I should have just shut it off. It's hard to remember. There's nothing called turn off 7, that's nice, too. I'll take a red. Read it before 7 times 7.
For number 1, my radius is 7, so what's my radius squared? It's 7 times 7. 49. So then your last step to find the area is to take 49 times pi. What's 49 times pi?
153.86.
I might have just misheard you. Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought you said 400. That's right. 153.86 inches squared.
86?
86.
Yeah, I told you.
What is the radius in circle 2?
153.9.
It's because did you use the symbol button?
Yeah.
That's why. It's right. It just is a little bit different. It's the same thing. It's okay. What is the radius for circle 2? Elena? 12.5. We're always looking for the half mark. So if we're given the whole line, you have to cut it in half. Half of 25 is 12.5. Then you square it. 12.5 times 12.5. It's 12.5 times 12.5.
1.5.
Type it into your calculator and tell me what it is. 12.5 times 12.5.
Uh, 156.3.
Last step to find the area is take that number and multiply it by 3.14.
No. You divide by 5.
So do it.
Is that 150?
156. Sitting.
490.62.
Millimeters squared. You're using the pi button, your answer is going to be a little bit different, but it's still the same.
Oh, I did 3.14.
And then I run, if it was 0.625, I took the 5 and rounded it up to a 3. That's all. What's the radius in number 3, Heather?
12.
24?
The radius is 12. Your radius is always your short length. I'm given the short length, that's what I want. Radius is small, diameter is big. What's 12 squared? 144. 144 times.
453.16.
If your Wi-Fi went out,
Are you making?
yeah, I don't know how either of you are talking in here right now.
Exposed.
Maybe not the.
I'm talking to you.
No, that's not.
No, Kai, that was probably meant for period 6, not for you guys, but.
Or maybe they like left on accident and came back and that's why they're saying the Wi-Fi went on. Wi-Fi was unplugged. So then they were
Oh.
telling you in case you saw nothing left.
Are you alright, Kai?
I bet he just left the call.
Do you not see that little, did you not see that little, see no need?
No, that's what I said, that was probably meant for period 6. I use the same post, sometimes I have to change the time.
Hi, anyways.
I know, guys, do you hear me speaking to him and answering his questions?
Yes, no, do you need help?
RJ, are you the teacher now?
No, no.
But sometimes I just forget the times, I get confused.
Number.
Number 4 and 5, do the same thing, find the area, but if it's a half circle, what are you gonna do? Divide it by 2. 4 and 5, find the area. You need to know the radius. You need to know the radius squared, and then you're finding the area. You need to know the radius squared, and then you need to know the area. Find the radius, right there. 9. So your whole length is 28. I don't know how half of it is. 28.
Like the way that the divide that like number like.
So for number 4, you're given the diameter is 28. Heather, what's the radius?
I know.
That's what I'm asking. That's all I'm doing. That's all I need to ask you to say. Cut it in half, and you get 14.
Okay, now what time?
So then you do 14 times 14. Is that what you did, Parker? What'd you get?
It's 96.
1496.
196. Then you have to multiply it by pi.
Get it? I like the pie and garbage.
What is 196 times pi? Lana?
615.
615.4. Levi, this is why you keep saying, I wish I knew what to do, because when I go over, you're like singing and making noise.
That's my own person, that's my own personality.
Okay, that's the whole area. What's the last step gonna be? Divide it by 2 because it's a half circle. Divide this by 2. Type into your calculator. 615.4 divided by 2.
So obviously 307.15.
Exactly.
Yes.
Meters.
I'm so smart.
I don't know what you did there, but sure.
What's the radius for number 5?
I don't think it's 7.7.
Sydney? Radius is 3. RJ, what's 3 squared?
3 squared. 3 times 3. Is 9.
Find your area. 9 times 3.14.
It is 28.27.
28.26 I got, but it's or whatever.
27.
It's fine. It's a half circle, so cut it in half. Half of 28 is 14. Half of 26 is 13 feet squared. Okay. The back of this is your homework. That is what you're working on. It's exactly the same. Use your formulas. Area equals 3.14 times the radius squared. But remember that is radius times radius. That is what you're doing right now.
Right now?
Yes. You guys at home or finish up if you have questions. Ask them in the chat. I'm learning how to use the raise your hand thing now, I guess.
Alright. We're moving on.
You have to be on the lookout for when they give you the diameter and when they give you the radius.
Oh, you go on to the next page.
Yeah, that's homework.
Next.
You got like 15 minutes. That's so much time.
No.
Not.
We'll be fine. And then you guys are coming back here.
1 minute is like so much time.
Got all 9 period. Got
Oh.
Okay, well, this is a deal using the.
okay.
All you have to do, when you have
Hey,
a
guys.
line, or multiply this number by itself, and then times 7.1, times 7.1.
So the R2 means take the number and multiply by itself. So for example, I'm gonna write down in this little circle here, it's random. 4, 2 means 4 times 4. 5, 2 means 5 times 5. Jordan, yeah, if you are going, you are may go.
I was just gonna do.
Don't write that, that was just a little random. That's nothing to do with anything.
Yeah. That was mine.
The hardest that I struggle.
What?
So it can't be.
So now you're gonna do what I just showed you, so take the number and multiply by itself, and then multiply it by 3.14. So the radius times 3.14. You're always gonna use 3.14.
Did this look at the ninth period?
You can do this. We might go over it. I didn't hear any of it.
Ooh, that's a big number.
Okay. Look, that was you guys for period, I'm not there. So you find your area. Take the radius. Out of this.
What about R2? What is that?
Take the radius times itself.
So
Radius times radius.
maybe the number divided by 2. Yes. Times
Your
it.
radius is the half of one. So we'll try to
Times the y.
Wow.
So 3.14 times radius.
Hold on, okay.
Hopefully we go over this. Radius is your half of the line, so which are radius is your one. So I think 3.14. And 7.1. But you did these two. So now these ones, this is why I don't know that these two. Your area is equal to the radius. Times the radius. And what's the special number?
No.
Your radius is your small line. This is a small line. So you can take it one step first, right? You have to find half of it. How do you find half? So cut it in half, so you have one.
It's so small.
And all of these ones. Divide. By 2. Your first step is to take all the numbers and divide by 6. Exactly. Now you have to divide by 2 first. And then your radius. So you said 6, so then we gotta do 6, 6, 6.4.
Seven, 8, and 9 is the same thing, there's just no picture. So you're finding the area for everything.
So we'll get this. See how these are both lines? These are lines. These ones have one set to do. Just for these. Then
I'm all confused again.
so see our differences, these are half lines, and these are all lines. Your radius here. 3.14 times 4 times 4. You can do it all in one time. 3.14 times 4 times 4. Just like that. That's that. What's your I did, so all of this, I just did in one step. So that's what I'm. So then you said actually no steps, and that's your radius. Okay. You okay?
Yeah.
But if you're good, then yes. If you guys finished, you gotta make sure that this is your homework, so make sure this gets sent in.
That was when they left because you haven't looked one
I
more.
finished it though. Define, see how there's like 2 circles, a big circle?
And a 9.
No, 2 in front. We did 4. We did 3.
But there's no other number. 8.
These are different. Wait, what? That's what it sounds like when they leave the meeting now?
No.
I'm okay with that. It's just, it never really sounds like that, so you can do it more.
No, but usually that's like there's a message noise. You think that's what it is? I can't, if someone's asking something, I can't see who it is.
Spamming.
They could be. But there's also not like a hand, like when they raise the hand, it like stays by their name. Like there's no hand over here. Like when Noah had his hand up, it was a picture of it was there for a while. What?
How do you put the last one?
Page and like.
Who's signing? Oh, this one.
So these ones, you have to be careful, because we didn't go through, because this has the full line. So all of these, you have a step that you have to do first. 5, 5, 2, first. So for each of these, 5, 5, 2, and then do this.
Just look at the by
So you see how this is a whole line, look, whole line, half line. You got it? Yes. Maybe, can you guys hear me? Because I keep answering questions.
I can hear you.
Because I said, when Maddie asked, I said, whenever you guys are done, you can leave. But, can you hear me? Yes, no, maybe
You
so?
want me to go and go into the.
Maybe that's the issue. No, I don't think anybody wants you to yell into the mic, or.
No, I want to go on so you can see if they can hear
No,
me.
because then it's gonna be squeaky and better.
Yeah, I think maybe my cousin's FaceTime each other.
No, but then I can just
right
leave.
here, like right sitting right next to each other. And we like have it on until it gets to like that big screech.
It was yes to all of the questions, because you and Maddie asked the same thing. No, I don't know what's happening.
We're just
I'm at a
being
loss. Yeah, that's what I said. Because when Maddie asked if you guys could leave, I said when you were done, you could go.
Our class was really-
Very confused.
Very confused. Can't wait to have all of you guys on Google next week.
Are you excited?
Right.
You have to do this one first. We know what it's in.
So it's the same thing, they're just like, so the diameter is like, so we have to do first. So what? Who?
What's your number?
Oh, yeah.
Did you just check the chat to say that you can leave the interview?
Yes. One thing that I never think of.
Probably.
13 is just saying that you have, a
Yes,
light,
I mean, the third one.
the diameter is 6. You just have to find the area of the circle that has a diameter of 6.
So I'm just skipping the lines.
I think they did change the sounds, but I don't like it. Because there used to be a different sound whenever you were joining the page.
I saw Austin raise his hand.
Did you?
Yes.
Well, why did it just go off again?
Could you spamming it?
He's trying to get attention, but he.
So
He's
you're
trying to
afraid.
get his hands to his big board.
There's a timeline in this, it's like Hitler. No, it's, but it's killer.
Oh.
Tommy, the third time last week, but
Like you should have word. Mark, I'm done, some of the choices I did.
This is always fun.
I hacked the game. Sir.
17 guys.
Teacher.
We talked about this the other day.
Oh, it's on them.
I'm gonna ask Wyatt a question first.
Wow.
So timely raised his hand. Well, just because he's not a dog.
Alright. 10, 11, 12.
We'll get him done. We'll come back next year.
10,
You're not gonna have to say anything.
10, 11, 12.
That's good for math, Parker, the bell's gonna ring.
Wow.
So leave the papers here, leave it all here.
What's a bell?
Leave everything on the desk.
It's boring because you can't.
Yeah.
Are they recommend?
It's so hard.
Never mind.
You get, you pick the ball once, twice.
Has anyone ever put like
Yeah.
an actual crush rate?
I have it.
I was just thinking, I just want to get that.
You.
Just